There are few people in the few district that don't know Congressman Zach Wamp. In fact, there are few people anywhere that don't know Zach Wamp. Congressman Wamp is serving as the ranking Republican on the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Military Construction and Veteran Affairs, and he continues to work on the Water and Energy Subcommittee as the second most senior Republican. It's an honor, and it always is an honor, to have our congressman with us today. So please help me and welcome Congressman Zach Wamp.
Thanks, Darrell. Thank you all. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. That must mean I'm headed for the door. Darrell said everybody knew me. If there's anybody in this state that doesn't know me, I'm looking for them. I'll tell you that right now. I got here this morning. You know, Lincoln and I didn't get off the House floor till after midnight last night. I got here this morning. They said, "We're so glad that you could get out of Washington to be here." I said, "Not near as glad as I was to get out of Washington, I can tell you that." Secretary Chu, this is quite a turnout. Unbelievable honor to you that this many great patriots would come out to recognize your leadership as Secretary of Energy. But before it gets to your head, I just want to remind you that if they would have broadcast that Coach Bruce Pearl would have been here today, there'd have been twice as many people. We really are honored that you're here, and I was thinking before I stood up here that it's a great country because I knew this afternoon I was going to have the privilege to join with East Tennesseans that work here in the Oak Ridge area to pay our respects to you and this administration. And I thought, you know, it was just a few hours ago I was speaking to thousands of the Tea Party activists who would like to run you out of town. And isn't this a great country that I can do both in 24 hours? It's unbelievable. It's fun to laugh with my friends, and it's great to be here at Heumf, dedicating this facility after all of this work and time. I'll move my quick talk around here to get through it, but let me tell you that when we talk about Tom D'Agostino, rest assured this administration could not have found a better person to be in his position at this moment than him. And I'm grateful that they kept him on the job. And we should all be grateful because every administration, regardless of their priorities, ought to try to keep the people that are most valuable in those places as they go forward. And they did. I'll tell you what he is, frankly, in our nuclear preparedness. And right now, nonproliferation is a big priority. There have been times in our history where the stockpile and the stewardship and buildup is important, and the nuclear navy is always very essential, and these are all priorities that are real. And every administration, regardless of their ideology, faces these realities when they take office. But he is for this nuclear capability, which is important today, what General Petraeus is for the troops in the field. And that is a great leader, a great patriot, not a compromiser, stands his ground, speaks the truth, and I am very grateful that this administration has kept him in this post. And I want to thank you, Mr. Secretary, for your brilliance. That's the truth. Mr. Secretary, I want to thank you for your brilliant work in science, bringing you into this moment, and frankly, how you're warming up to nuclear power in this country, because I don't believe you can achieve your own carbon reduction targets without it, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that you just spoke. I told you I was on my way to the door. You just spoke of your support for the Uranium Processing Facility, and let me tell you that the two go together. This is the flagship of modernization within the NNSA. We're honored in Oak Ridge that the Heumf was step one and that the UPF is step two, and I'm particularly honored that this administration is committed by your statements to the UPF, not just finishing the design but going forward, Because, again, it does not matter if your priority is nonproliferation, if your priority is the nuclear navy, if your priority is the stockpile. We have to have both in order to meet the realities of the world we live in today as we go forward, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. I'm grateful for our delegation, for Senator Alexander, who is very knowledgeable and very influential, Senator Corker, who is very supportive, Congressman Duncan's Chief of Staff Bob Griffiths is sitting next to my Chief of Staff. I'm grateful to Governor Phil Bredesen for the commitment that he's made to Oak Ridge over these last 8 years. I'm most grateful to the people who work here, to the people who lead BWXT Y12, to the people who built the HEUMF, to the people who decided that a local Tennessee contractor, Blaine, would get to build it. Because isn't it nice when the federal government invests monies and our own people get to spend those monies and multiply those dollars in our region? I'm thankful for things like Lawler Wood and privatization and things that we've worked so hard for. And you want to know why Oak Ridge is so successful and why, Mr. Secretary, this is not just the best multi-purpose site within the DOE complex. It is the best site all the way around the board within the DOE complex, and I've been all over this country, and I've met all the leaders. It's because of organizations like the East Tennessee Economic Council that meets every Friday morning, that involves everybody in the vision of the region, and they look at every single issue. Where are our opportunities to help our country? How can we grow the economy of the state of Tennessee? How can we advance technology and make our country more competitive? How can we invest in the Oak Ridge High School so that education is very strong here in this region, and so that we lead out of Oak Ridge? And frankly, it's been the privilege of my heart to be a part of the success of Oak Ridge over these last 15 years. So whoever comes behind me, let me just say to you, things like this don't happen. Big projects don't just happen. Somebody's got to get in the middle of it and make it happen, and the people in this room can flat make it happen. Congratulations to all of you for HEUMF.